Good night, fellow punters. There is no clock on the wall in this room, but Big Ben is not that far away, and he's saying it is 11:15 on Tuesday night. And Cockney World, long day. Got out of the traps this morning at about 6 o'clock. That'll be AM, not PM. Everything was running smooth. Forgot nothing, which is a change. Got to knock about 7:20. Flight was at 8:30. Parking I had paid in advance. Park lovely. In anyway. Seen a big queue in the departures, so I joined the queue, even though I had checked in online. Was there about 10 minutes, I'd say. It could be maybe closer to 15. And the next thing I heard this holler from one of the staff. Any other people for Luton or Malaga? Hand up. Come here quick. Up along anyway. And this fella said you shouldn't have entered that queue at all. I says, why? He says, because you checked in online. I says, well, I didn't see any signs to tell me otherwise, so little did I know. So head for pay your tenner at there's a tax, whatever they call it, I forget. Pay the tenner anyway. Down to where there were the gate numbers. Looked up at the screen, seen Luton 1. Joined the 1 line, and then I was 10 minutes and it wasn't moving that sort of fast, and there was people. I said, these aren't dressed for Luton, they're more dressed for the sun. So there are a lot of people with shorts, young bucks and young girls. And screen anyway, I got another view at it. I was in the wrong gate line. Over to 2, got up along anyway. The next thing, I had checked in my bag to bring in, that I brought in the last time I flew. There was no problem bringing it. So she says, put that bag there anyway. And I had the laptop in it, but it wouldn't squash down. And she didn't give me a second chance. I said, if I took out the laptop, it'll fit down. She says, no, down to my colleague that's waiting for you at gate 3. Down along, I had to hop a few chairs anyway. Got to gate 3. And she says, she wasn't simple, I'll tell you. She wouldn't listen. I says, if I took out the laptop, no, it was $45.99, and the bag is going in the hold. There was an English fella beside me, and it was card only, and he had only cash. So he gave me 50 quid. I gave him back a fiver. Even lost 99 cents on that transaction. And I said, this isn't going good. So got on the plane. I was the last on the plane at 20 past. Took off. Arrived in on time about 20 to 10. Out. I got the first bag was mine. So got that. Hopped the laptop into it anyway. Headed out. She was warm. So I rang Niall McNulty straight away. I'm calling him the bus logistics manager from now on. So he said he had sent me directions to get where to get the boat or the train out anyway. So there was a screen. There was no one to ask anything at all. And here was Mickey D wondering what to do. So I seen this fella. I said, are you staff? No, he says, but I'm just upgrading the machine. I said, I want to get to Gravesend. So he proceeded anyway, and he done a bit of tapping on the screen. I said, I want to return for Friday. Niall had told me to get a return for Friday. He says, no, one way is the best way. And I said, so £36. So, got the card worked. I thought, I had 2 of them, so I didn't know which one. There was no tapping or nothing. Sure, I shot her in anyway, and I knew the code. I was getting a bit frustrated at this point. So, got in anyway, and on to, into town. So I met Niall at Pancras International, across the road from King's Cross. So we went for a bit to eat. I had nothing to eat this morning, just a bowl of cornflakes, a half a cup of coffee, and out the gap. And it's about 11:15. So the menu came anyway, and I looked at it. Of course, I picked out an omelette. I said, big tasty. Lo and behold, lunch only. And I said to your man, I said, I could do with a bit of breakfast. He said, I ate my breakfast 5 hours ago. Well, it's fair play to you. I'm only after getting up. So there was nothing on the menu sort of that appealed to me at that time of day, because I said I'll get lunch at the hotel. So we aim for the 12:20 train to Ramsgate. she was cancelled. So we said we'd aim for the 1:20. So we took our time. We had a grand chat. Niall McNulty, an absolute gentleman. Mother was from Limerick. He was born in Limerick. He's 26 years in London. His dad was from Ballyshannon. Watches the channel every morning on his way in with the earphones and gets a good laugh out of it. And I meet him again probably Thursday. Great crack with him. Love the chat. You can know about the body language of a person when you're in their company. I can anyway, whether you're enjoying it or not. And we said we'd shoot for the 1:20. Up anyway, cancelled again. So I don't know what I said. I said, would we ask anyone? He said, there's someone to ask upstairs. Upstairs, and there was a train ready for off. Hopped in on it. He said, get off 2 gates or 2 stops down, which I did, and got on. I heard her saying on the thing, anyone, Gate or Graves Inn mentioned, up to the 5, so platform 5. So went for that. There was about 10 people getting on it, all asking the same question: is this the train for Graves Inn? So it was. It's only the first stop. Got off. I brought Mary with me on the phone, my reliable Mary from Google Maps, and she told me where to walk to anyway, and I walked in about 20 minutes. But the heat was intense, and I'll tell you, there was a good lather of sweat around the ring of Kerry, and I had to change my shirt when I arrived in the hotel. So she heard the Irish language, or the Irish accent, and she knew straight away. She said, Mister, and I said, no need for the Mister with me now. And I said, so had the crack with them anyway, 3 women. And I said, what about lunch? No lunch. What about breakfast tomorrow morning? No breakfast. No cooking at all. No chef. Gone. Missing. Gone fishing. I said, I suppose a pint to be out of the question. No beer either. So that's, I often heard of the beer, or the pub with no beer, but this is the first time ever I heard with the hotel with no beer. Up anyway, into the room. And the Lord, a Yank wouldn't stay in it anyway, because it was, he'd be looking for the AC. There's no air conditioning anyway, so I had to open the window. It's still open. But the heat sort of went down after a while. So I got a hold of Terry then. And Terry picked me up at 4:30 and dropped me back at 10 o'clock. So we went. He wanted to go for. He's a teetotaler. Strangely, he said for Irish background that he never had a drink at all. He was into boxing, and he was into FA coaching, soccer coach for 9 years. He was saying we had a lot in common. He had dogs as well. He drove a black taxi for a long time, and he's a painter. And he's still organising jobs actually today on the phone. His son is still painting. So we went back to his house. I didn't want to drink. I wanted to eat. You know, I like me food. So we went back, and his wife, when she came from work, Helen, lovely woman, and we had coddle cooked by Terry's aunt. So we had the coddle. Terry thought it was a bit bland, but it was grand. Now, a cube of beef oxo into it to make the thing thicker would be lovely, but it was grand. Sausages, bacon and spuds. A Dublin meal. The Dubs will know about it, and we went into a pub, what was it? The Royal Oak, was it? Yeah, the Royal Oak. Established in 1698. I took a photograph of it. Shepherd Neame Limited. And there was 2 books in the bar only, and I asked them what would I drink. So I said, do you like lager or beer? And what do you usually drink? And I said, Guinness. There's Guinness Garris. There's no Guinness in them in London. I'll sample what the locals. So I had a pint of, it was all right. I had 3 pints. So Terry was getting a little bit tired, and I can't blame him. He's under pressure, and he's on morphine, and he's supposed to take it every 2 hours, and 5 hours was gone. So we went back to the house, dropped off Helen, and he dropped me at the hotel. So he's picking me up again tomorrow evening at 6:30, and we're heading to the Prince Arthur in Forest Road in Hackney. Michael Finnerton, whatever you want to call him, he used to play for Roscommon years ago. He owns a pub there. I think it's used to be Mannions. And we're going there, and we're going to go live on YouTube at 8 o'clock, me and Terry. The Terry and Mickey D show for maybe 20 minutes. And there was a couple of people thinking that this was a bit of a sort of, it wasn't for real. Well, it is for real. And Terry won't be around with us for much longer. But he's battling hard. He's a great warrior, and he's a great person. And I'm absolutely thrilled that I came over. And would you believe the first thing he said to me when I hopped into the car today? He said, today was his mother's birthday. What a day you picked to come. So I did say weeks ago that I don't know what the journey was, but the dots are being joined together. And I suppose in business terms you say that the I's are being crossed, or crossed, is it, or what do you call it, and the T's crossed, I forget it. But a very pleasant evening, I must say. And I gave him 700 that I've collected lately, and I threw in a couple of pound of my own. So that's 1,400 we have given, and he's thrilled with that. So hopefully we might get a few quid tomorrow night as well. I was on to Michael Finner earlier on tonight. So if there's anyone in London that wants to be around tomorrow evening, we'll be in the Prince Arthur, and Terry's picking me up, and he'll be dropping me home. So I'll be having a couple of light ales, as they say, and we'll see. So looking forward to tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do during the day, but it'll be eventful, I would say, the way things are going. I'd say the sweat will be ringing off me in the morning anyway, because the heat of this place is unreal. It's an old-fashioned place, but there's no one downstairs, all in darkness. There's a code to come in the door. So I didn't see anybody at all. I don't know, is there anyone in the hotel bar myself? But I wouldn't be walking down the locality to find a tavern at this time of the night. It's nearly 11 o'clock now. Anyway, we were watching the race, myself and Terry, today. We seen, what had we today? The one I expected to win didn't handle the track, Black Point. You could see going round, and even Terry says he's rowing him. I said he's not handling the track. He finished third. I thought he'd win today, but he didn't. And I can't. Similar to yesterday, someone left a comment. I noted that I was like Brian Lohan. I never thought to mention last night the ride that that young lad Holly Doyle harshed him out of the way and put him in on the fence. And he had 1 and 2 mile heavy ground before, so staying wouldn't be a problem to him. So why didn't he come around the outside and leave her behind? And we'd have made a few pound. I can't remember the name of the horse either yesterday, but anyway. Oh, I mentioned about Errol's finished third. They didn't go fast enough of a pace. I did say last night, for people that listened, that his other horse, Gawlath, 4-1 without the favourite, and maybe doing each way double. I done each way and put the two of them in each way double, and for 5 each way double, it was 26 quid back. So, and I had the winner at a 10 each way, and I'm at 7-1, even though he returned at 9s. I done it last night. So it's a good enough day for Gavin Crummell, and he had a winner in down south as well, hadn't he? Anyway, I'm rambling on a bit too much for you now. Terry will be up. He's getting up at 1 o'clock to listen to me, so I said I'd have the crack for him. An absolute legend. I put on that video earlier on because I hadn't asked him for permission to put him on the video. I played it. It's more telling when you watch it, the heartfelt desire that he has for people to be made aware that there's a test out there to help them to prevent them from getting prostate cancer. So anyone over 40s, even though they're not involved in horses at all, just share that with them. And that's all he wants in the last days of his life, is to make people aware. We had a great chat. I'm not joking yet. It was, and I felt like at one point we should record some of this, but I said no, we'll go tomorrow night and we'll see how it goes. But he's really looking forward to it because he wants to thank the passengers of the bus, thank all you people, and I appreciate it greatly for the people that sent money. And I never asked for it. You done it your own voluntary self, and thank you very much. And he's very appreciative for it. So we're trying. I've a few horses for tomorrow. The several horses that we backed the last time that has a chance tomorrow, each way, a lot of them. First one there is Baez. We backed that the last day, but he's a backable each way price tomorrow. Ran the last day, ran pretty decent, I thought. It's 11 to 2 shot. That Colt Henry, do you remember he done us a bad turn last year? He done a good turn for whoever backed him. We were on Lashik, what do you call it? Excuse the mind tonight, it's a bit all over the place. What was the name of that horse? Oh, so chic. He betted twice, remember. He betted be a nose and he betted a half a length. So hopefully we might turn the tables on him tomorrow, or else second to the favourite, Colt Henry. Baez, good chance. We have another bus horse tomorrow night that has a good chance, is First Emperor. It won for us previously off 77, wasn't it? And it's now rated 87. It used to be in Ireland with Donnacha O'Brien. It won that time. We were on in Kempton the 25th of January. It won again then in Goodwood. We were on Hydroplane. Do you remember that race? And then the last year, you can throw that out. It was in the Alexandria Stakes race. That has a right chance tomorrow night in Kempton. A surface that he is being first and 2 seconds on racing there. Likes the surface. Dundalk tomorrow. Fundalk, as Patrick Hickey might call it. Harry's Bear won for us the 12th of July last year. Pádraig in Sligo was on him big time that day, and then the day of the All-Ireland hurling final he was drinking in Harry's Bear out in Spain somewhere. You can see last year he won the 12th of July and then he won the 15th of August. Adam Cafferty was riding both times as well. We also threw him in a double the day, the 10th of February when he won. He went over to Newcastle, he finished 5th. He was in Chester, he was in Fairyhouse the last day. Back on a surface that he likes. He's only £5 higher than his last. When did he win last? He won off 109. He's lower than that, isn't he? He's 108. He'd have a right chance tomorrow. The only thing is, I don't know where McCaffrey is. Redmond is on him tomorrow, but he's claiming 5. He's drawing 7. The draw is pretty well. He likes that track. He's won several times there. A horse as well that. There's another horse running dog tomorrow. Oh, yes. Benavente. What race is he in? I know you'll find it. I think Benavente has a right chance tomorrow. What race is he in? He's in the 225, was he not? He's in the Claymore. Just I'm waffling on a bit. Yes, he is. Well, let's see. Benavente's rated 77. 10 stone 2, £7 Claymore. He'd have a right chance in that race tomorrow with trap 6. Yeah, get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Now, what have we left? Fairyhouse. White Caviar. Christina tipped him up a couple of times and I tipped him up as well. The two of us on him and he ran a stinker the last day. But he's sort of well in at the weights, isn't he? If I can remember. Well, let's see. Where is he? He's rated 90. Hugh Horgan taking off 7. Mile 6. That should have a right chance as well tomorrow. And one as well that we won on before, and I said the last year it had a right chance, was American Sonja. It's in a Group 3 race. 'Twas behind. Zarin's betted before, but we were on level weights that day. But 'twas over, was that over a mile? My memory's a bit slipping now tonight, lads and lassies. Let's see, can I remember? 7th of May, wasn't that it? It was over a mile. Aspen Grove, that went out and won a Group 1 in the States the other night. We were better over 7. We went to France the last day and we won over 7. And it's entered in a few nice little races. So hopefully 7 furlongs is more suitable. And the £3 swing in the weights. Anyway, that's all she wrote. Who you say that? I don't know. Any that's round London or any tune in, we'll try and be on at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. I've never done the live thing before. We're going to try it anyway, self-entirely, because there's no point recording it and putting it on. Just go live. And if we air live, if there's anyone watching in, just leave a comment and I'll try and put someone to hand them to me and we'll read out the comments as best wishes. Do your best from, he's doing the best for us and for the future by what he's doing in the days that he has on this planet. Great man. Bash the bookies. Over and out. See you tomorrow, Terry.